As a parent, no 2 days are ever the same. At Care.com, you can find trusted and flexible sitters to help manage your family's ever-changing schedule. Care.com can even help you out with housekeepers, dog walkers, senior caregivers, and more, so you can find care for all you love. And 100% of caregivers who use Care.com have been background checked with CareCheck, a key first step in hiring confidently. To get the help you need to make it all work, sign up now and find a great sitter at Care.com.
Live from multiple locations via the miracle of Skype, it's the LTN Hour. Let's talk NASCAR with your host, Todd Bailing. Co-host, Ed Kaluka. Featuring dangerous Dan Margetta. And Brian Schmidt. LTN is a caller-driven program, and your participation is encouraged by calling 414-421-7901. That's 414-421-7901. Now, the creator and host of the fastest hour in radio, Todd Bailing.
And welcome to the program. Glad you could join us. We're racing at Homestead, Miami, and no, it is not the championship event, but it is in the last round of elimination races. Hello there, Todd Bailing. These days talking to you from Peoria, Arizona, joined by my three partners, beginning with Ed Kaluka of West Bend, Wisconsin. Morning, Eddie.
Yeah, good morning, Todd. Yeah, we're going to have a tire issue again today. It's not as far as blowing out, but wearing out. They back off big time.
Dan Margetta of St. Francis, Wisconsin. Hey, Dano.
Hey, if that's a tire issue we're going to have, if they wear real good, great. I love it. That means great racing and on a great track. This is my favorite track. I went there for like 20 years when it was a championship race. The racing here is always good.
It's my favorite track, too, and I've never been anywhere near it. That doesn't seem right. And, of course, Brian Schmidt of Oostburg, Wisconsin. Hey, Brian.
Morning. Yeah, it puzzles me that this is the best track. Everybody says it's one of the best tracks for racing and this and that, and you got all these other tracks around the country that they don't know what to do with, like out in California, we're going to shorten it up and all this. With the technology we have today, why can't they duplicate this? You know, we duplicated how many different tracks across the country? We had, Charlotte, Atlanta, Texas, all the same. It boggles my mind that this thing has been there as long as it has, and they haven't found a way to duplicate it and put another one somewhere else because the racing is so great.
Dan, this is the third repave of this place. Didn't it start out like a mini Indianapolis?
Yeah, it was kind of flat and not totally square shape, but kind of with flat corners with connected by short chutes, kind of like Indy. That's when they first did it. And the racing wasn't that great there. I was there for one of those races, and they made it completely flat and rounded the corners off and like a flat oval. And that wasn't the best. It was okay, but it just didn't provide the best. But then when they put the progressive banking in and did this, it's been awesome ever since.
Yeah, I agree completely. William Byron is the fastest car in qualifying, 166.389. Byron is not in the top four right now. He's on the outside looking in. Of course, last week it was Joey Logano winning at Las Vegas, and of course that punches, as they say, punches his ticket to the Final Four. So now we have, one car for sure, and we got three others that are knocking on the door, and one of them would be the 9 car. Chase Elliott was the favorite going in, it seemed like to me, and he's 17 positions out right now. By the way, he's not the second position. Our favorite watermelon farmer is 1 point ahead yet of Elliott, but and fourth is the 11 car of Denny Hamlin, and he is 6 points to the good yet. But wouldn't that be an interesting Final Four? Just the fact that the 5 car is not in the playoffs anymore just kind of blows you away, doesn't it?
Definitely, especially when they're racing where they are today. I mean, he's got to be one of the favorites. Him, Tyler Reddick, top 2 cars there. So, it's a bummer. That second set, that stage or grouping we had of tracks before we got to this grouping here with the goofy tracks, the Roval, Talladega, some of these other tracks, and it really made it difficult. These 3 races here are pretty straightforward racetracks, which, you have 2 mile and a halves and then the short track at Martinsville. And a lot of those guys are kicking themselves, but that's what makes it the challenge that it is.
Certainly does. And let's see. Not only is William Byron starting on the pole, Christopher Bell will start on the outside, and he is suddenly in a must-win kind of a situation. We'll talk more about that later in the program, I promise. Chase Elliott will start third. John Hunter Nemechek, the new driver for the number 45 car. Yeah, see above where I said we'll talk about it later. We'll start fourth. How about that? Jump in that Toyota and go fourth fastest, and Kyle Larson will be fifth. 6 through 10, Ty Gibbs. How about that for your – you start the year out. Hey, Hamlin, start the year out with Bubba and Kurt Busch as your drivers. And here we are towards the end of the year, and you got Nemechek and Ty Gibbs driving your cars. But the good news is they were fourth and sixth in qualifying. Pretty impressive. Ty Reddick, who has been, I guess, the Vegas favorite, will start seventh. Then Buescher eighth. Brad Keselowski ninth, and Allmendinger will start 10th today. The race will be televised on Channel 4 in Milwaukee, NBC affiliate, no matter where you might be listening to us. Green flag is at 1:43 Central Time. Coverage begins right here on the Big 920 at 12:30 this afternoon, so make sure you tune in for that. Weather is going to be real good, just a small chance of rain. Dan, I guess anytime you race in Florida, there's a small chance of rain, right?
There always was. Every year it seemed like something would pop up for a little bit and go right away. One year it poured right before the start. I'm like, oh my gosh. But then it cleared up and away we went. So kind of keeps the heat down.
It certainly does. And it'll be a great event today just because of the track. I've never seen a bad race on this track. Pretty amazing that's what the whole deal is. All right, let's just give a little tease here. Last week, you may have been watching the Las Vegas race, and you just may have seen a road rage incident where one driver who was mad because he drove himself into the wall because another driver got close to him and got mad and went down and not only took out that driver, but another driver who was in the playoffs. You know what? First thing that jumped to my mind was Matt Kenseth got 2 race suspension back in the day for taking out a playoff driver. And Matt never got out of the car and went over and tried to punch him in the face and push him up against the car and pushed a NASCAR official and made a big spectacle of himself. And he gets 2 races. Amazing, isn't it? And here we are. And Bubba Wallace gets a 1-week slap on the wrist. Kyle Larson, with these cars being as bad as they are, as far as, want to be hitting walls with them because, we're losing drivers because they're coming out of there with head injuries. Well, he puts Kyle Larson and Christopher Bell in the wall because he was mad. If you'd like to call the program as we go along, you can do so at 414-421-7901. We're here for you. The therapy session. We're going to talk you off the ledge. Life will go on without Bubba in the race. Matter of fact,
they're kind of consistent with the suspension. I mean, if you look at intentional wrecking, where it's pretty clearly intentional. Where there was really no doubt that it was.
No, wait! I thought he lost his steering, Ed.
I know. Yeah. That's what he says in the interview right afterwards. But I mean, Kevin Harvick wrecked a guy in the truck race at Martinsville. He got sat a week in the Cup race. Kyle Busch wrecked Ron Hornaday under caution in a truck race at Texas. He got sat in the Cup race a week, and the same thing happened here. The only guy that got 2 weeks was Matt Kenseth. Now I don't know, is it because he targeted Joey Logano and took him out of the championship run? And did they you take that into effect that you cost the guy a shot at his championship for sure? I don't know, but they've been suspensions. I'm kind of glad it wasn't points and a fine because that's kind of appealable, and he could probably run the next race and somebody might overturn it. This way, a suspension is a suspension. You're not here for a week, and they actually took it to the door.
The thing with Matt was he said, "I took him out." Period. The thing with the 45 cars, he didn't really take him. He got taken steering out, and it was a steering problem, and made all these excuses, which are lies, and. Because when he turned down into the 5 car, you could see his steering turned to the left. There's nothing wrong with it.
It was working good there.
When NBC has the telemetry on and you're full throttle on the gas as you're taking them into the right rear, that don't look good.
No. But
I'm just surprised that there wasn't the 1 race suspension for what he did, but then it's all the stuff he did afterwards. He crossed the the track was still hot, gets out of his car, storms across there, shoves Kyle Larson. Then he shoves, a medical person that was going to be there. Then he doesn't go in the ambulance, and he storms all the way across pit lane. I mean, those are all things that should be compounded too, because you're supposed to follow the rules of how they do it, and he didn't follow any of those rules. And I guess that's the frustrating part, that the suspension was what it was, given all the things he did on top of the wreck.
One word comes to
He
mind.
lied.
One word comes to mind. Quintessential. We'll be back.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship-winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company, in the heart of Wisconsin, is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at wagnerautomotive.com.
Hey, race fans, Elkhart Lake's Road America Season Pass is now available at early bird pricing for a limited time. The Road America Season Pass makes a great gift for you or the racing fan on your gift list. This special personalized pass includes 50-plus days of racing, including the IndyCar, Superbikes, and more. Hurry and order your Season Pass today at roadamerica.com. That's roadamerica.com or 1-800-365-RACE. Road America, your national park of speed.
Fall has arrived, but there's still time to get your landscaping complete before the snow flies. And PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need, with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
Be part of Wisconsin hoops history when AmFam Field plays host to the Brew City Battle November 11th. See the Badgers women face Kansas State, followed by the men against Stanford for the first time at the home of the Brewers. Tickets are on sale now at brewers.com/Badgers.
Welcome back to LTN. Glad you could join us this Sunday morning. I hope you got a chance to watch the truck race yesterday from Homestead. It was what you call a good old-fashioned take them behind the woodshed and kick their ass, open up a can of whoop ass. It was Ty Majeski at his absolute best, winning that race, going away yesterday, a 4+ second margin of victory. Ty joins us right now on the telephone. Ty, my God, if you're going to peak, you certainly peaked at a good time.
Yeah, certainly. It's been great timing. You know, we've been running so good throughout the whole year and finally broke through at Bristol. And everybody says once you get that first one, they come easy. So pretty cool to win 2 of the last 3, peaking at the right time here. But heading into Phoenix for the championship. Feel really good about where we're at as a race team and putting really good trucks together right now. Very few changes were made at the racetrack. So Joe and all the guys are doing a great job getting these trucks where they need to be when they unload, and that makes our day a heck of a lot easier. So excited for the opportunity, ready to make the most of it.
Well, we just wanted to congratulate you, Ty. This is Ed Kluka telling you that. Sure hope you do the same thing next week.
Yes, sir.
Man, I hope so. That'd be incredible.
Boys, go ahead.
Well, looking forward to Phoenix, to Phoenix, Ty. How much preparation goes into this now? I mean, do you just take it as another race? Obviously, it's a championship, but you can almost get yourself too worked up, overdoing it, knowing what's on the line. Do you just kind of approach it like another race? We do everything right. We should be where we're at.
Well, I mean, yes and no. We've been putting a ton of effort into our Phoenix truck. Ever since we took the checker flag at Bristol, we, knew what truck we were running and, trying to fluff on it, make it the best we can make it, and going to Phoenix. And, I've been at the simulator 3 times all year, 3 times for each road, or 1 time for each road course. I've already been down there twice already just for Phoenix. So, we're putting all our eggs in, not all our eggs, but we, myself, I've been putting, a lot of my preparation into Phoenix. We still did our normal stuff for Homestead. We, still put in a full effort there, but I personally didn't run any laps at Homestead in the simulator. But I did for Phoenix already twice. So, pretty cool to go to Homestead and get that win. As we were maybe, focused on Phoenix a little bit harder. So, we're doing everything we can, coming up with some new things and, trying to give ourselves the best shot and the best opportunity to go there and hopefully take it to them again. So if we can, have a truck like we did at Homestead, that'll be no problem.
Besides the simulator, how many times have you actually ran at Phoenix, if you have ever? I think you may have one. I think I remember seeing you at least race there once. But how many actual races between ARCA trucks and back when you were in the Xfinity Series did you get to run at Phoenix?
So I have one each. I have 1 ARCA race, 1 Xfinity race, and 1 truck race at Phoenix. So, but none since they've been laying the PJ1 down. So there's rumors of if they're going to lay it down, maybe just in 3 and 4, not in 1 and 2, and maybe not at all. So we're still waiting to hear confirmation on that. So regardless, it'll probably be a little bit different than the last time I was there. But a great racetrack, very aero sensitive. It's a short track, but it's really an intermediate. It drives like an intermediate. It's dirty air is very, very bad there. So, just have to take that all into account and have to have a good turning truck, good forward drive, just like any other racetrack. So it'll be a good challenge for us. Going to have to execute on all levels, cross our T's, dot our I's. I'm going to have to do my job. Truck's going to have to be good. The pit crew's going to have to do their job. It's just, going to have to be a flawless day in order to bring home that championship.
And if I look at the schedule at Phoenix, it's kind of interesting. That's going to be one of the, you could almost say, old-fashioned weekends where I believe you're going to get like a 50-minute practice session and then you qualify a little later. Is that something that you guys are looking forward to, or do you think that's going to maybe mess up what you guys have been doing all year, having all that extra practice? Because if some people can dial themselves out, other people love the extra practice. I guess, where do you guys look at that?
Yeah, I think anytime you get, practice, it's a good thing, from a sense of making sure that everything's right with the truck, and it gives you a chance to tune on your setup. And I feel like, all the races that Joe and I have had practice together at, we've excelled. We unloaded a IRP, not that great initially off the truck, and Joe made some huge changes, throughout practice, and we got it really good and had a truck, plenty capable of winning there. So I feel good about having practice. We're going to, practice Thursday night, and then we're going to qualify Friday afternoon and then race Friday night. So at least we're practicing in the same conditions, being at night, that we're going to race in the next day. So I think it's good all around for us. I'm sure all the other teams will probably say the same thing. We've been, I think, one of the best unloading at these places in these 20-minute practices. We've been putting a lot of effort into sim and simulator throughout the weeks, and I feel like it's been showing, unloading at these places, in the top 3 in practice for a lot of weeks in a row now, and that goes a long ways into making your day a lot smoother.
Just so you know, Ty, there's a press conference at the racetrack tomorrow at Phoenix. I'm going to it. While I am there, I will ask a direct question about what the plan is for PJ1, and then I'll text you. Let's get in on this here. This is a hometown kind of thing. We'll give you a heads up if we can find that out. By the way, the reason I'm going is because they're bringing in Ben Rhodes, who's going to show the media how to make an old-fashioned. I got a funny feeling I'm going to tell him, the last old-fashioned I drank, you made it for me. We'll see what he says.
That's funny.
Hey, good luck, man. We're all rooting for you, and want you to have a great week in Phoenix. And who knows, maybe you're going to be our, 4th Wisconsin driver to have a championship in the Truck Series. Be awesome.
I hope so. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me on.
All right. Ty Majeski, the guy who kicked their ass yesterday in the Truck Series at Homestead, Miami. Man, oh man, what a show that was. Is he peaking at the right time or what? We'll be back.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
And listen here for your $1,000 inflation bonus. Win $1,000 every hour, weekdays between 9 and 5.
Listen for the cue, then log on to the website, The Big 920. Good luck.
Miller Sales and Service is the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer for customer service and satisfaction. Serving the area since 1939, Miller's is located on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. As the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer, Miller's has all kinds of Bravo trailers from 8 feet to 48 feet in stock. They also have a selection of B&B utility and dump trailers, reliable and Chilton open aluminum and steel trailers. With over 50 pre-owned low-mileage cars, trucks, and SUVs, Miller's has just the vehicle you are looking for. Miller's also carries a full line of Alumacraft boats and Manitou pontoon boats, complete with Evinrude outboards. Why not buy from racers who know what racers want and need? With Miller's Sales and Service on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. Call Jerry, Tom, or Brad Miller today at 920-994-4358. That's Miller's Sales and Service, 920-994-4358.
This is The Herd.
Attention listeners.
With Colin Cowherd.
Yesterday, OBJ on Twitter praising Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers talking about their relationship. Go get him. Number one, it's a position of need. You're not a Super Bowl team if Romeo Doubs is your go-to number one. Odell Beckham's a veteran receiver. Aaron didn't have to teach him how to be big in big games.
This is The Herd.
Weekday afternoons, 3 to 6 on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
And welcome back. Thanks for joining us. Well, you know, not only did Bubba get a 1-week suspension for his shenanigans, which includes, you know, taking out the 5 car, taking out the 20 car, being an embarrassment for his sponsor, McDonald's, pushing a NASCAR official, not going off in the ambulance, got a 1-race suspension for that. How would you like to be on the crew for the number 18 car for not putting a tire on a tire and wheel assembly on a pit stop because they lost the tire? The crew chief, the tire changer, and the jack man are suspended for 4 races, which there's only 3 left this year. That means it's taken them through the Busch Clash at the LA Coliseum next year. By that time, the 18 car is going to have a different driver, Ty Gibbs. And what a you know, it seems like we have a little bit of a disparity here with some of these penalties. I just can't imagine how that is good for 4 races for 3 guys for what Bubba did, taking a 180-mile-an-hour mistake, could have cost a couple of lives, and he gets only a 1-week suspension. I don't know. What do you guys think of that one?
I think you got to look at the history of that penalty and why it was there. That was back when we still had 5 lug nuts, right? And guys weren't they keeping or getting better time on pit stops when not tightening all the lug nuts, only maybe having 3 tight instead of 5, and then they didn't want wheels coming off. And that was a safety deal. I mean, they didn't want the wheels getting in the grandstand. So to make it, such a think twice about hitting all your lug nuts, we're going to give you 4 weeks off. We lose a wheel. That's kind of how the history of that came about. Now we only have pretty much like 1 lug nut, right? And now the wheel comes off, and it's 4 races. That penalty is still with the thought of the old system the way it was, and it was a safety deal. So that's kind of the way it's always been for a while. Maybe it needs to be looked at again. I don't know, but that's kind of where that came about, I think.
Disparity. They need to adjust that rule with the new wheel.
Yeah, it sure seems that way, doesn't it? because NASCAR's new wheel. Okay, we realize we have a wheel that comes off a lot easier. So this time we're really going to get mad at you if you don't put it on tight, because it makes us look bad. Blah 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 blah.
One other thing on that Bubba Wallace thing that I heard reports. I'm not sure 100% how true they were, but remember that car won at Kansas with Kurt Busch, right? And he won again with Bubba at Kansas again. I heard that might have been the same car that was leading at Vegas when that happened again. So, and he wiped that car out. So I mean, the team could not be happy with that either if that was like their best piece, and he took it out in that fashion.
Oh yeah, Hamlin's come out and said he's pretty unhappy about the whole thing. But it's egg on our face. We're going to learn a lesson and we're going to move on. All right, we hope so. But what we're really going to do is not have temper tantrums in race cars anymore, I hope. If you would like to participate, 414-421-7901. Tony in Columbus, Wisconsin will be our first caller today. Tony, welcome to the program. Let's talk NASCAR.
Hey, thanks, Todd. I'd like to say hi to Dan and Eddie, too. I just was wondering about your thoughts on with the closing or date on Saturday for Beaver Dam Raceway, moving to possibly a Tuesday. Hopefully maybe the great Wisconsin promoter like Greg McCarnes or even Bob Sargent could come in and help them out at the fairgrounds and get some thunder back on Saturday night at the half mile. I wondered what your thoughts were on that, if there's any possibility of that. I think that'd be a great program for Beaver Dam on Saturday nights.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, we had heard talks about what was going on at Beaver Dam. The guy that runs 141 Speedway came in and promoted that IMCA race a couple weeks ago, last week of September, first week of October, I believe. And he had some success with that, had a lot of cars up there. So I think they're just looking to the IMCA guys. The way their point structure works is the more they race, the more points they can accumulate. They take their worst dates and knock them off. So around here, you can really only run 2 nights really good. You can go up to Luxembourg on Sunday night to get your third night. But that was about it. So it's hard for these guys, IMCA guys, to accumulate enough points. Where down in Iowa, they're racing darn near every night of the week down there. There's Thursday night tracks, there's Wednesday night tracks and stuff. So for them to add a Tuesday night track up here, for the drivers, I think it'll be good. The question is going to be how many fans are going to go out and support it. How many people are you going to have to go out on a Tuesday night and watch this event? The other key is they're going to have a very quick event. You're going to have to, have a goal of making sure that thing is over by 9:30. People have to work the next day and stuff like that. If they're able to do that, I think it'll be successful.
Right. That was just my thoughts. Hopefully somebody will step in and, like you say, bring back Saturday night on the half. So
half miles.
Thanks for the call.
Yeah, half miles are difficult because you're seeing less and less of those because of the wear and tear on motors and the time it takes to prep it. And, to run weekly on half miles, it's you see less and less of that. So I don't know. I could see maybe a few more special events there now with Beaver Dam not running Saturday nights. You could have, 3, 4, maybe 5 special events there on Saturday nights. That might be something you'll see.
All right, and we do appreciate the call. Jim in Jefferson waiting to talk to us. Hi, Jim.
Hi, Todd. How you doing? Hey, I've been reading in the paper, the journal paper here about NASCAR. You remember back in the early 80s, 70s when they had USAC and then all of a sudden they got CART. My good friend from Whitewater Bigelow was racing at that time down there. And, when I read about NASCAR and they talk about all the money they make off of TV and stuff, that all these tracks get 65% of the money. 25% go to the car owners, and I don't know what happens to the rest of the money, okay? You're going to see with this incident that happened with Bubba Wallace, them guys are mad. They do not like the way they were treated unfairly, like my good friend Kent that lives about 15 miles from us from Cambridge got suspended 2 races. Why is this guy a prima donna? Another thing is you're going to see NASCAR maybe get some owners together and split up NASCAR like they did with USAC and CART. And this is coming to a point, NASCAR's making too much money, the sponsorships are going down, and this is what's going to happen.
Mary redeemed a $50,000 cash prize playing Chumba Casino this year.
I was only playing for fun, so winning this was a dream come true.
Chumba Casino is America's #1 social casino experience. It's serious fun. With over 80 casino-style games to choose from, you too could win life-changing amounts of cash. Be like Mary. Log on to ChumbaCasino.com and give them a whirl. That's ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void or prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details. The voice in the preceding commercial was not the actual voice of a winner.
Life can be unpredictable. Wouldn't it be nice to get paid instantly whenever you need it, even on the same day you work? When you join the Amazon team, you can use the Anytime Pay feature to cash out and receive up to 70% of your earned pay. Anytime, 24/7. To find out more about how to choose your own payday, go to amazon.com/anytimepay. Amazon is an equal opportunity employer.
You get some interesting points. I would hope that you're completely wrong about that. You know, they never had a union before, and basically that's what they have, this race team alliance thing where the owners can go to NASCAR and sit down and talk issues out. They never had that before. One of the things they are talking about, what you mentioned right now, it's 65% of the TV money goes to the track, 25% go to the teams, 10% goes to NASCAR. So right now, they are in the middle of negotiations about that whole thing, and hopefully they'll get that figured out, well before we have to worry about it.
See what he's saying? The issues are similar to what happened in the open wheel side. I mean, they're there, but hopefully we all learn what not to do from the open wheel people.
Yep.
So, if they can keep that in the back of their mind, they can work this out.
Jim, we do appreciate the call, though, and the thoughts. We do. That's awesome. We'll be back right after these.
Hey, race fans, Elkhart Lake's Road America Season Pass is now available at early bird pricing for a limited time. The Road America Season Pass makes a great gift for you or the racing fan on your gift list. This special personalized pass includes 50-plus days of racing, including the IndyCar, Superbikes, and more. Hurry and order your Season Pass today at roadamerica.com. That's roadamerica.com or 1-800-365-RACE. Road America, your national park of speed.
And listen here for your $1,000 inflation bonus. Win $1,000 every hour, weekdays between 9 and 5.
Listen for the cue, then log on to the website, The Big 920. Good luck.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
And now, the Dan Patrick Show.
Dan Patrick.
Justin Fields, he can beat you with his legs. I want my quarterback to beat you with his arm. Carson Wentz should be better. He had 99 passing yards. And it's not like he can rely on his legs where you go, well, thank God he can scramble. He doesn't anymore. This is primetime football.
The Dan Patrick Show.
Dan and the Danettes and you.
Weekday mornings 8 to 11 on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
Oh, love the music. I don't know where that came from, but that's awesome. Not only did Ty Majeski win in the trucks at Homestead, Miami, but Noah Gregson won at the Xfinity race yesterday, punches his ticket, so to speak, all the way to the Final Four. It was his 8th win of the year. Talk about having a hell of a season.
He has, for as goofy as he is. That's pretty impressive.
Very. And he, by the way, is still driving the 48 car today at Homestead, Miami. Sam Mayer, it looks like he's going to have to win at Martinsville. 28 points back, guys. He's just not in a good position unless he wins.
And he's he ran well at Martinsville first time around. If you remember, that was the incident where we got into the fight with Gibbs way back last April. But him winning, I don't see it. You know, him and Ty kind of thought about how they were going through the season, and a lot of people thought maybe Sam would be more successful, but Ty was able to snap out of it and then start winning races, and now has won 2 of them. And Sam just hasn't been there. You know, he was close at Talladega, but he just hasn't been able to get over the hump. And I mean, the two guys in front of him, Austin Hill and Justin Allgaier, who are also on the outside looking in, seeing him hop both of those, I don't see that happening without a win. So, unfortunately, I think it's going to be close, but no cigar for Sam, I would say.
You know, one thing about Sam, I thought he's cut down on the mistakes. I think he's done a lot of improvements that way, where he was always up front earlier in the year and kind of wild and kind of making mistakes that would hurt his stuff, and he's cut back on that. So he's actually done better that way, and he's been more consistent. It's just that, like you said, the wins aren't there, and it can be done. I think he's still got a shot, but it's kind of a long shot.
Pretty good Final Four, though. If you look at it, if it stays the way it is now, Noah and Josh Berry are in. Ty Gibbs and AJ Allmendinger are your other two in your Final Four. That could be an outstanding. You know, last year we had a thrilling race at the end there, and this with Hemrick getting the win. But I mean, that's a pretty powerful lineup of cars if you think about it for the Xfinity Series.
Yeah, I would say that's a good way to put it. Our friend Paul is waiting from Racine. Paul, welcome.
Good morning, gentlemen. Just wanted to talk a little bit about the Kyle Busch situation. I thought it was really interesting, his comments on that NASCAR show, and how, you know, it does appear as though he's been kind of pushed aside for the golden child, Ty Gibbs. You know, and I think it bodes well for the sport going into 2023, because he's going to have a chip on his shoulder, bigger chip on his shoulder, let's say. And I think Childress is the right guy to kind of keep him focused, and I look for big things out of him. I just wanted to ask all of you, with that whole situation there, I mean, how much of that is Kyle Busch, and how much of that is Joe Gibbs? I mean, we do have history with Kyle Busch and Rick Hendricks, so just your thoughts on that.
I was surprised too. If you watch that show, he makes some comments. He's talking with his wife, and they talked about how it's surprising they didn't do a lot more to keep him there. That you know, they were told he was family and you're our guy for all 15 years, and then suddenly he said, like a switch went off, it was gone. And yeah, I wonder how much. It seems to me that Gibbs has issues with how to keep in drivers, or when things get sticky. Look at Matt Kenseth. The same thing happened there. The switch went off and he was kicked out the door. Same with Eric Jones. So, yeah, I wonder how much is it on that Gibbs organization, as they don't put a lot of effort into keeping their guys if it's not easy.
Overall, their whole organization just doesn't look the same recently, does it?
No, not really.
Yeah.
I think the M&M's thing had a lot to do with it, too. You know, as long as M&M's is there and they're footing the bill and there's no issues money-wise there, I think then, you know, would have continued on. But as soon as M&M's decided to pull, that was Gibbs's, you know, signal that, all right, here's our chance to move forward now. And that's
Dollar General, same thing,
yep,
right?
Same thing. Yep, exactly. And I think that had a lot to do with it.
When it's easy, it's great. But when it gets tough and it gets a little sticky, they have problems keeping their guys.
Yeah. Yep. So that's all good points. And Paul, we appreciate the call.
It's expensive.
Absolutely. So much going on. Speaking of businesses, our Wisconsin, our one and only Wisconsin driver, Josh Bilicki, is going to lose his ride after this season. Ty Dillon has been named the new driver of the 77 car for Spire Motorsports. I guess we're at a point where, you know, you can bring money, but there comes a point where non-performance is going to cost you your job eventually. Josh, a great kid, brings plenty of sponsorship money, but runs in the back. And the only time you see him on TV is that he's getting lapped over and over. He has had some good runs. There might be some potential out there, but you know, it's a kind of a double-edged sword. Is the car he's in that bad that he can't look any better, or would he win if he was in the 5 car?
It's tough to say, you know.
Better if you're in better equipment. I mean, that Spire equipment isn't the greatest. We'll find out next year when, you know, Ty Dillon's over there in that 77 car and see if it's any better. But you're not the cars that just are there to take take a money deal and get in it. I think are less and less and less on the Cup side. Josh, I think, would be better going on the Xfinity side if he could find. He had runs in that Alpha Prime car, the 44, the 45. He did good runs. We saw him run top 10 at Daytona in that 36 car, and that was probably the best race I'd seen him race. in his career. I made it a point to go find him in the garage afterwards and congratulate him because I was happy. I finally saw him get to race. Other Xfinity rides he's had in the past, he's always had the leash on him. Oh, we don't have enough cars. You got to be careful. Get out of this. I heard him on the radio. They were telling him not to go do it. He had that one shot at Daytona in the 36 car, and he said, go race your race. And he finished 9th, led some laps. So there's potential there, and I think it's better suited in the Xfinity side right now.
Yeah, I'd love to see him run that Alpha Prime stuff. I mean, look at what he, at Road America, he was having a good run until Noah decided to take out half the field. And that Alpha Prime stuff is pretty good, especially on the road course. That stuff is good, and it's good on the super speedway. So if he would be able to work forward, I mean, he was able to get something going with Sargento there for one of those Xfinity deals. If he was able to put something together to get a full season with the same group, and that's the other thing. He's been in the Xfinity series. That stuff has always been a revolving door of different cars he's been in too. He hasn't been able to be with one group, one crew chief, to get set, to learn together, and to move your way forward. He has not had that opportunity. And I think if he's able to get that opportunity and get some, solid ground where he knows he's going to be good all year and he can work on his craft, and I think he has to spend more time trying to sell himself than he does actually getting better as a racer, and that takes time away. If he's able to, get in a simulator and do some stuff, I think it's there. I think it is, but he's just got to be in the right situation. That's hard to do.
If you try to keep in mind now that before we disparage the 77 car, that Spire Motorsports is the same car that Corey LaJoie drives and damn near won a race. What was that, at Atlanta?
Yep,
Atlanta. Of all places. So it's supposedly the same equipment, right? The team, it's all about personnel. We've learned that over the years, where are you going to put your best guys, your best crew chief, your best tire changers and all of that. But overall, we just hope that Josh survives. If he has to go to the Busch series, or listen to me, to the Xfinity series and come back, not a bad place to go and prove your worth coming back to the Cup Series. We're going to take a break and be back with some results.
Miller Sales and Service is the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer for customer service and satisfaction. Serving the area since 1939, Miller's is located on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. As the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer, Miller's has all kinds of Bravo trailers from 8 feet to 48 feet in stock. They also have a selection of B&B utility and dump trailers, reliable and Chilton open aluminum and steel trailers. With over 50 pre-owned low-mileage cars, trucks, and SUVs, Miller's has just the vehicle you are looking for. Miller's also carries a full line of Alumacraft boats and Manitou pontoon boats, complete with Evinrude outboards. Why not buy from racers who know what racers want and need? With Miller's Sales and Service on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. Call Jerry, Tom, or Brad Miller today at 920-994-4358. That's Miller's Sales and Service, 920-994-4358.
Hey, race fans, Elkhart Lake's Road America Season Pass is now available at early bird pricing for a limited time. The Road America Season Pass makes a great gift for you or the racing fan on your gift list. This special personalized pass includes 50-plus days of racing, including the IndyCar, Superbikes, and more. Hurry and order your Season Pass today at roadamerica.com. That's roadamerica.com or 1-800-365-RACE. Road America, your national park of speed.
Fall has arrived, but there's still time to get your landscaping complete before the snow flies. And PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
The Milwaukee Admirals 3-game homestand continues with Game 2 of the homestand Wednesday night.
Going right side, quick shot, and a goal!
The Admirals take on the Texas Stars at UW Milwaukee Panther Arena. Pre-game coverage at 6:30. Face-off at 7 on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
Now the LTN Hour presents Dirt on the Dirt with Brian Schmidt.
As nice as the weather was this weekend, it's hard to believe we're winding down on the dirt track season here. Kind of a skimpy list this week. We'll start Friday. Humboldt, Kansas. The World of Outlaw Case Construction late models got back in action with a 10,000 to win feature. Chase Younghands, his first win since, I believe, 2017. So congratulations to him. York Haven, Pennsylvania, Friday night, the BAPS Motor Speedway. It's the night before the National Open, which was the next night down in Williams Grove. 6,000 win. Gio Selzy picked up the win there. Last night, the last dirt track race in the state of Wisconsin for the week, up at Tomahawk, Wisconsin, the Don Finetti Memorial Ice Maker, they called it. In the mods, Chris Ortel was your winner. USRA Limited Late Models went to Cade Nelson. That's Daryl Nelson's son, I believe, from up in Minnesota. And in the stock cars, it was Brett Wenzel. Indianapolis, Indiana, the Lucas Oil Raceway Park on the pavement. The USAC Silver Crown Series was there. Tanner Swanson picked up the win. Cody Swanson was your 2022 champion. The midgets were also there, and Bobby Santos won that. Out in Vado, New Mexico, my good friend Chris Steppens' track, the USRA Fall Nationals for the Modifieds. It's a preliminary race. They run the $22,000 to win modified feature today. Terry Phillips won the preliminary race for $2,200 last night. Union, Kentucky, the Florence Speedway, the Fall 50 for the UMP late models, 10,000 to win. Bobby Pierce was your winner. Victor Lee won in the modifieds. Park City, Kansas, the 81 Speedway for the World of Outlaw, Case Construction late models, 10,000 win. Brandon Shepard, back in his family-owned B5, picked up the win there last night.
Mary redeemed a $50,000 cash prize playing Chumba Casino this year.
I was only playing for fun, so winning this was a dream come true.
Chumba Casino is America's #1 social casino experience. It's serious fun. With over 80 casino-style games to choose from, you too could win life-changing amounts of cash. Be like Mary. Log on to ChumbaCasino.com and give them a whirl. That's ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details. The voice in the preceding commercial was not the actual voice of a winner.
Bedford, Pennsylvania, the Keystone Cup Classic, $22,000 to win for the Super Late Models. Jeff Ryan was your winner. Lake City, Florida, the All-Tech Raceway, the Crate Racing USA Power Family Memorial, $27,000 to win in a crate late model race. If you've ever seen Hunt the Front on YouTube, Joseph Joyner, he picked up the big money there last night, getting the win there. And finally, the big money race of the weekend, Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, Williams Grove Speedway, the rescheduled World of Outlaw NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series 60th Annual Champion Oil National Open, $75,000 to win. And a local man, Lance DeWeese, picked up the win there. I believe that is his 5th National Open for the ageless wonder. Lance DeWeese pick up the win there. So big money for him. Couple weeks, I believe it's 2 weeks before they have the big World Finals down in Charlotte for the World of Outlaw Series. That'll wrap up a lot of the dirt racing 2 weeks away. And that is everything I have for this week.
Did I hear you say the Don Finetti Memorial?
Yep, that was the name of the race.
How about that? And what track was that?
Tomahawk.
Oh, that's the track that his widow, Marilyn Finetti, owns.
Yeah, it used to be a paved track, and I think they made it dirt maybe 10 years ago or something like that.
I think it sat for a while until she bought it.
It was an ice maker, and it was 75 degrees out.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Yeah. That, by the way, Don Finetti, local trucking magnate, and was in Milwaukee County, and former ASA champion car owner. So that's, in case you didn't know that name, Don Finetti. That's where it came from. Yes, speaking of nice weather. Yesterday at Wisconsin Dells, it was the Falloween. That's the final race of the year in the state of Wisconsin. And turns out it was pretty much the Johnny DeAngelis Jr. show. Dan, you were there, weren't you?
Yeah, pretty much. It didn't feel like the season's going to end. It was so nice out. Usually when it's cold this time of year, and we're all happy to be done. And this year it's like, man, there's no one next week, and it was beautiful out. But Johnny D won the first. They had 275 lap features. Johnny D won the first one, led every lap, had some challenges from a lot of different people, but held them off. Finished second in the second one. Max Kaler got the win there. Good day of racing all around. In the truck series, Danielle Bain finally got a win in the truck. She got passed in a late race restart at Oktoberfest by Ty Majeski and kind of made up for it this week by winning at the Dells. And the 602 crate races, Jason Stark won both their features. Dennis Prunty won the touring championship. You know, they had that touring series between here and Sling. Prunty was a champion there, and James Swan was a champion in the truck series. So all in all, a really good day. Wrapped up the season. Like I said, just felt weird that walking out of thinking, yeah, the season's over when it was so nice out.
Last week at Rockford, it was the 32nd annual Bahama Bracket Nationals. That was Sunday afternoon. A couple of names I'm not real familiar with. In the A feature, it was Justin Maynard. In the AA feature, it was, I'm not kidding about this name now, Kyle and Sola Be Here. AAA feature, Eric Kowitz. The 4A feature, Lewis and Sola Be Here. And B feature, Nick Schneider. Double B feature, Ryan Dawson. I never heard of any of those people. My apologies. I guess we just don't follow that Bahama bracket thing. What is that, Dan, anyway?
Well, they put you in the brackets. You qualify, and then you race against in your group, and you can't break out. There's certain times. It's hard, a lot of fun. I've never been there. One of these years I want to get down to Rockford for doing that because everybody tells me it's a great time. But that's kind of you qualify into brackets, and then you race within those brackets. And if you break out, you're out. You have to stay within the time.
All right. Okay. Interesting. The other big news, I think, is there's going to be a new super late model touring series. The CRA Stars series is coming in 2023. Dan, it sounds like there's going to be a couple of races in the state of Wisconsin, and right now that's of some great conjecture what those tracks just might be.
Right. I mean, if you look at Track Enterprises and Bob Sargent, they have the ARCA Midwest Tour now. They have CRA Series, and now they entered into a partnership with the Southern Super Series. So your three regional main series are all under one umbrella, and now they're going to make this national tour out of that. It'll be 10 races, 3 in the Midwest, 3 in the Mid-Atlantic region, 3 in the South, and then your championship one will be the All-American 400 at Nashville, which is coming up next week. We'll have a lot more details on this. Now, the question is, what 3 races in the Midwest would we get up here? People are starting to speculate. I could maybe see the Milwaukee Mile because that's one of the Track Enterprises events. I think Slinger would get one. I can't imagine Slinger not getting one. The one. What other one? Is it Kakana? Is it WIR? How about
Madison? The Joe Shear race.
There's a ton of Ells Raceway Park, Lacrosse. The Oktoberfest one, I can see keeping that the championship for the ARCA Midwest Tour Series. I don't think you want to dilute your championship event with a bunch of national guys coming in, making a deal there. But maybe Elko in Minnesota. They put their name in. Maybe have one over there. So. A lot's going to be known next week at Nashville when they sit down and go through the details. I talked to a lot of guys. I talked to the Dells yesterday, driver-wise. We're all kind of waiting, sitting back and seeing the details on it. Let's see what the rules are. Let's see what it is, what it's going to cost, obviously. People, they're cautiously optimistic. This is on paper it looks good right now. Let's just hope we can put the details together and make this a big deal.
I like the concept, and if you look at the logo, I'm looking at the logo on my screen right now, and if you squint, you can almost see the old ASA logo in that. And that'd be cool to get back to that. It really would, to get some sort of national thing going again.
I sent a point blank message to Todd Thielen this morning. Are you getting a Stars race? And the answer I got back was, time will tell. We'll be right back.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship-winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company, in the heart of Wisconsin, is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at WagnerAutomotive.com.
Be part of Wisconsin hoops history when AmFam Field plays host to the Brew City Battle November 11th. See the Badgers women face Kansas State, followed by the men against Stanford for the first time at the home of the Brewers. Tickets are on sale now at brewers.com/Badgers.
Hey, race fans, Elkhart Lakes Road America Season Pass is now available at early bird pricing for a limited time. The Road America Season Pass makes a great gift for you or the racing fan on your gift list. This special personalized pass includes 50-plus days of racing, including the IndyCar, Superbikes, and more. Hurry and order your Season Pass today at roadamerica.com. That's roadamerica.com or 1-800-365-RACE. Road America, your national park of speed.
The NASCAR Cup Series.
Tightly bunched, 2x2, and the green flag is in the air.
Playoffs continue at Homestead Miami Speedway.
Trouble in turn 2, up and into the outside retaining wall is Corey LaJoy.
Who will punch their ticket to the Championship 4 in Phoenix?
Ryan Blaney is there. He'll look to the outside. He won't get there.
It's the Dixie Vodka 400.
Sunday afternoon. Coverage starts at 12:30 on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
Speaking of Road America, you may recall that there was some talk recently about Road America doing a complete repave before next season. And of all the major racing media outlets in the state of Wisconsin, LTN was the only one to have a reporter on site at Road America when the repaving began. Brian Schmidt was there. Tell us about it, Brian.
Yeah, well, we went out there Friday, me and a guy from work who we kind of do the paving in the city of Sheboygan also, so it was kind of twofold. Went out there to see what was going on from the media side of it, but also went out there to try to see the technical side of it for our paving operation. And unfortunately, we got out there on a beautiful day Friday. It was almost 70 degrees, and there was no paving going on. So we know some of the people from the company that are working it, and we talked to them over the phone about what was going on, and they ran into a little bit of a glitch with the oil and getting the oil to adhere to the aggregate. So they paved a real little bit. The scratch coat is all done, which is the bottom layer. They milled all the old stuff off. They put a full layer on it last week, Monday, in the rain. A couple guys were there with cars to go out and run around to see how smooth it was. It was very smooth. Just a couple areas they had to modify. And then they're going to start putting the top layer on, and that top layer needs to come from a different location due to the aggregate they want in it. The guy that paved Laguna Seca is the project manager for this one as well, so there's different criteria he wants to meet as far as the aggregate. And I guess it wasn't quite working right when they started it on Thursday, so they shut it down, going to reevaluate and try to get the right adhesion going on there. So hopefully this week they'll be able to fire up and get that done. But interesting still, we still went out and looked at the track. When they took the old spot off, they did 7,000 different GPS points around the circuit so that they can get the right height so that it's exactly as it was before. So when the paving machine goes over it, it hits these different points and keeps the height the same way. So if they're able to pave sometime this week, hopefully we can get back out there again and actually check it out and see what's going on. You can watch it online. If you go to Road America's website, they had cameras up when they were doing all the prep work and the first layer before. But this final coat, they want to get it absolutely correct. So they're going to take the time and make sure they have everything correct. So hopefully maybe by this time next week they'll have it down. There's a couple things they're working through to try to get it absolutely right, and that's what we want to see done.
Good for them doing it now and making sure it's right ahead of time, so when we race next year, it'll be perfect, right?
Correct.
Isn't it hotter weather better for repaving?
It is. Unfortunately, I said we got lucky with the weather here this week, and even going forward here for the next week, it doesn't look like it's going to be really crazy cold. So the warmer it is, the easier it is to move that stuff around. But they have the equipment there. Even if it's 40 degrees, they have no worries that they're going to be able to get that stuff down properly. We pave around here until the snow flies, so we're kind of used to that type of stuff.
Yeah,
so.
That's true.
On the flip side, Brian, have you seen any pavers in Chicago lately?
Well, that was kind of interesting. We talked about that a little bit too, and we keep talking back and forth about what the Chicago thing is and how if that race is going to roll off or not, and it doesn't seem like there's a lot of work going on down there. Nobody's seen any paving action going down there. So I kind of said, if it doesn't work down there, they'll just come up here. Well, no, that's not going to happen, because if that race don't happen down there, it's not like they can just pick up and come to Road America, because their schedule is set now. And it wouldn't work anyway. You got to have contracts and this and that. So it sounds like for sure the 2023 season you won't see the Cup Series up there, definitely. But beyond that, it's still open. So we'll see what happens going forward.
It was a 2-year deal, right, Brian? I think it was.
Well, Chicago is a 3.
Oh,
but
3.
Then again, that's all politically related. So there's still lawsuits. There's aldermen suing the city, and there's people suing Lori Lightfoot. There's all sorts of stuff going on down there. So, it'd be interesting if we get to Phoenix in a couple weeks, Todd, and we see Julie Giese. She's the one who's supposed to be heading that up. So it'd be interesting to talk to her and find out where they're at with that whole operation down there.
Yeah, Julie Giese is currently the president of Phoenix Raceway. So
correct.
Yeah, good point. We'll have to corner her and ask some important questions like, when the hell are you going to start paving that track?
Yes.
Little things like that. Hey, this is an interesting thing that came out this week. They're talking about, this year was, we're going to start racing in the rain at road courses. That started last year, I guess. But, they've been talking about it for years. Matter of fact, Dan got to see a test with Terry Labonte at Martinsville one time. Well, it might be actually, in the plans now. They're talking about it at places like Phoenix, where it doesn't rain very often, but still will on occasion. Martinsville, where they had that test years ago, and possibly New Hampshire. Terry Labonte was the one that did the test, right, Dan?
Yeah, it was back in 1995. It rained all on a Saturday there. Everything got washed out. In fact, they were stacking tires. The puddles were so deep they were stacking tires and jumping from stacks of tires in the bottom end of the garage. Where all the that's back where Julian Donlevy's team was back there. Michael was on that team. That's how we went down to talk to them. Kenny Wallace was back there in that 81 car at the time, and Bickle was back there. Rich was driving the Sabco car, I think the 45 car, and or 40 car. And we were all under the garage in the tents there, and it was pouring out, and Terry Labonte was talking to NASCAR officials, and we didn't know what was going on. And then he came walking by, and people were like, "Hey, Terry, what's that all about?" He's like, "They want me to go out there and run in this stuff." So they put rain tires on the Kellogg's Chevrolet number 5, and he went out in the pouring rain with rooster tails and was cutting laps.
Rooster tails,
I get the Kellogg's car. And
Kellogg's, best
he didn't really make great laps. He could tell I don't think he was really trying that hard, but they actually ran rain tires at Martinsville at the time. It was on Saturday in 95.
Oh my God.
And they're working on that as far as putting lights up in the rear windows so that you can see through the rooster tail.
Yeah, tail lights. All right, quickly. I'm picking Kyle Larson to win today. Ed?
Tyler Reddick.
He's the favorite. Dano?
I'm going to go with William Byron.
24 needs it on Brian.
20. Christopher Bell's going to punch his ticket.
Ooh, would that be interesting? We're not good at picking them, but
no, we're not.
But we pick them anyway. There's some logic to it, but I don't know what it is. Thanks for tuning in. We do appreciate it. And, every once in a while we like to remind people that real race cars have doors, even if they do climb in through the windows. Let's Talk NASCAR is produced and directed by Dangerous Dan Margetta. Our in-house engineer, website coordinator, and king of the knobs is Matt Hangover Losi. We appreciate you tuning in. We'll see you next week.
This program has come to you live from multiple locations via Skype. Any and all comments expressed on this show do not necessarily express the opinions of this station, its employees, or advertisers. Your comments are always welcome at mail@ltnradionetwork.com. Find us at facebook.com/LTN Radio Network. And thank you for your support since 1985. Tune in again next Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time for the LTN Hour on the LTN Radio Network.
Mary redeemed a $50,000 cash prize playing Chumba Casino this year.
I was only playing for fun, so winning this was a dream come true.
Chumba Casino is America's #1 social casino experience. It's serious fun. With over 80 casino-style games to choose from, you too could win life-changing amounts of cash. Be like Mary. Log on to ChumbaCasino.com and give them a whirl. That's ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void or prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
The voice in the preceding commercial was not the actual voice of a winner.